Viewers, our top focus at this hour, the debris of the Russian plane that disappeared from the radar has now been found in the eastern Amur region. Now, a rescue helicopter has also located the burning fuselage of the passenger plane, according to officials. Now, earlier, Russian air traffic controller lost contact with AN-24 passenger plane. There were 49 people on board. And now the local emergency ministry said the plane operated by a Siberia-based airline called Angara. It dropped off the radar screens while approaching its destination of Tynda, which is a town in the Amur region bordering China. And now the debris of the plane has been found. Now, the local emergencies ministry said the plane was being operated by a Siberia-based airline called Angara. It dropped off radar screens while approaching its destination of Tynda, which is a small town in the Amur region bordering China. And now the debris of the Russian plane has been found in the specific region. A rescue helicopter has also located the burning fuselage of the passenger plane. Now remember, viewers, about 49 people were on board that plane. Earlier, Russian air traffic controller lost contact with the passenger plane. And now the debris of the plane has been found. Now I'm being joined by Group Captain Vienja. He is an aviation expert and former IF officer. I also have Captain Akshay Chopra, aviation expert, with me. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here. Now, let me first go across to Captain Vienja. Captain, help us understand what possibly could have gone wrong here. You know, the plane went off radar and now charred remains have been found. Help us understand what possibly could have happened here.
Very good afternoon to you. You can call me Captain. That is the rank the Air Force gives us. Yes, this is very unfortunate. A passenger train AN-24 has gone down. It's a dual engine aircraft. And as the early reports come, it is understood that it has impacted with the hilly terrain in the vicinity. Such things have happened in the past as well. But what exactly has gone wrong will only be revealed by the inquiry team, what goes into the details of it. But on the first look, it has some element of possibly having some element of either the technical failure or the human error that could be there. In the hilly terrains, if the weather was not good, if there was a cloud on the approach path, it's very close to the runway, as I understand. So during the descent, if the descent has been initiated much before, crossing the hilly region, hilly terrain there, all these are possible. But then, I will avoid going into the speculations. More information will have to emerge. Then only one can make out what exactly has happened. But all these possibilities are there because in the hilly terrain, not many aircraft have been lost in the entire world history. It is not only one country or the other country. It has happened. So very unfortunate that it has happened. But then, more information will have to emerge.
Right. Clearly, an unfortunate incident has taken place and we'll have to see how more information comes in this case. Now, let me go across to Captain Akshay Chopra. Captain, a report also says that a crew error during landing in poor visibility could be a reason behind the crash. How do you look at that?
Thank you, Ishita, for having me, first of all. And it's a sad day. Again, my condolences go to the families. But if we actually go through the reports, there is one very critical thing which comes out here is that this is an old turboprop aircraft. It's an Antonov 24. When it was landing, this was its second approach. So it has already missed one of its approaches due to poor visibility. Now, this is where the human error issue comes in and actually gets highlighted, because if he's trying to make a second approach and we can actually see it's a hilly terrain, there's a lot of cloud, there's a lot of bad weather conditions there. In this particular case, I think the pilot should have diverted to a nearby airfield. The aircrafts are carrying ample fuel. But if in such cases the pilots again pressed upon landing, then these accidents have happened before. It's classic case of disorientation, which is coming out to be here. Of course, the when the FDR and all those things comes out, we'll come to know about the exact reasons. But it seems to be a case of clear disorientation and pressing upon landing in even during poor visibility, despite the fact this was the second approach made by the pilot.
All right. Now, Group Captain Vyenj, I want to ask you about this, that this is not an isolated event. We have seen a series of events taking place around the globe, not just from one country. So do you think the questions now being raised about aviation security, are they legitimate at this point of time?
Well, look, as long as the aviation is going on, the machine is flying, there will be circumstances where something goes wrong. And I have been a member of many of the courts of inquiry, especially of the Cat 1 fatal accident, of 7 such incidents. My own understanding is that there is a seldom a single causative factor. There is usually a mosaic of events that take place. Either there was a bad weather. I don't know. I have not read the weather conditions there. Either there was a bad weather. This was the second missed approach. This was the first was the missed approach. It was coming again for landing. And if there were a hilly terrain in the surroundings, it becomes very, very critical. I can think of our own Leh airport, wherein you have almost a mandate that if you have made up your mind, if you have initiated the approach path, if you are on the glide path, you will have to land. There is no way that if there could be a missed approach, then you will be heading directly to the mountains. So such things are the very critical issue in this. And secondly, in Indian Air Force, we do give training to the pilot. There is a OPTRAM that we call it, that is the operational training in the aerospace medicine, in which we have got a simulators in which we create such conditions of bad weather, or the when you come for the touchdown, a passing cloud, we create such environment and then let the crew handle those situations in the simulator. So such things, of course, even in the civil, pilots do undertake many of the simulator training. But this is a very old aircraft, AN-24. I'm not sure whether they would have been having enough time, or at all, if at all, the hands on the controls in such created simulated conditions of the bad weather, wherein disorientation could be a very strong factor. So I will again restrain myself, because unless we know exactly what were the circumstances, what were the conditions which has led to the accident. But I repeat, there are usually many factors taking place together. Either there is a loss of altitude because of various reasons, and that has been handled by the crew inadequately or improperly, or having error of judgment or some sort of factor, because knowingly no one will crash the aircraft under such circumstances. So all these are the possibilities. We will again, I will avoid speculating what exactly happened in this particular case.
Right, Group Captain. So it's usually a cocktail of factors that leads to such incidents. Now, Captain Chopra, I want to understand. So in this specific case, the plane went off radar. And so what are the kind of circumstances, when usually planes go off radar?
Look, generally, whenever you're flying, right from the time you start your aircraft to the time you land, you're always in contact of some of the other radars or ATCs. You're never off the radar, and it's a very dangerous situation if something like that happens. Now, this only happens in case of such accidents or incidents wherein the aircraft suddenly crashes. It's totally off the radar. The communication totally stops. That's the only circumstance which happens. But as Captain Jha was saying, that there are too many factors involved here, and this type of a disorientation, bad weather crashes, it's quite common. There have been many such cases in the aviation history. However, we need to understand that flying is still the safest way to travel. these incidents and accidents, their causes, they will be ultimately assessed. All these are available on the DGCA websites or the other websites of various aviation ministries, and all the pilots are well trained for such circumstances, such issues. But again, it's, we are all humans. It's a machine, and such things can happen. Such problems can take place. But we need to assess and learn and move forward.